Welcome to another episode of Real Talk with Real Fit Pros. It's your boy in the Jay-Z voice, Jonathan Loudermilk with Smart Shark, and I've got my PIC Mark Zalmanoff here with me. We got a special guest in the studio. But before I pass the baton, I got to ask you something. We need reviews. We need subscribers. So go ahead, leave us a 5-star review. Go ahead and take a snapshot of this as well. Put it on the IG. Tag us at Fit Pro Bro. What is it? Fit Pro Bros, Mark?
Yes, sir. Fit Pro Bros.
See, I got it right. At Fit Pro Bros. Hit us up on Instagram. Let people know so we can change more lives. And with that being said, I'm gonna pass it off to Mark. How you doing, buddy?
I'm great, man. You know, the Fit Pro Bros moniker is just ridiculous. And I still can't believe it was available on Instagram to have.
I know, it's pretty sweet.
It cracks me up. Yeah, man. Another great show in store for you guys. We got a special guest in the house. And he's going to lend some knowledge. And we're going to talk about a big old deal that he did, too.
Oh, whammy, baby. Whammy.
I've never done a deal like that. So I am excited to hear about it because I haven't heard this story either. This man, he hails from Fairview, Oregon. I don't know what corner he's in.
It's a tiny town. Yeah.
Tiny town. He's built multiple 6-figure bootcamp studio that helps clients transform their health and wellness so they can live their best lives. He's been doing this for about 6 years now, which is probably about 6 years longer than most fitness professionals. But we're changing that, damn it. If you just listen to this show and do what we tell you to do.
Just do what we tell you to do.
Anyway, without further ado, welcome to the show, Jon Welborn. How you doing today, sir?
Thank you. I'm doing really good, man. Thanks for having me on here. I'm excited.
Absolutely. We're excited to have you. And as you were informed mere minutes ago,
oh yeah,
we always kick this thing off with story time. So what you got for us, man?
Yeah, I have a deal that I lost. I got beat because I had an enrollment session with a gal. It was a referral, should have been a done deal. My client basically sold the whole deal for me. I set up the consultation. It's an $800 a month offer for 9 months. And I got outdone by a pair of brand new, purebred, English bulldogs from Iowa that she had to use the money to fly to pick up because she collects dogs, and she just wouldn't invest because she had to fly to Iowa to buy 2 new dogs. So I lost that sale thanks to some little pugs that are probably running around now. Yeah,
that's great. That's a good one.
I've never had that before. Never had it before. Never had it since. Hope to God never to have to deal with it again. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an objection right there. It's like, I don't know.
I mean, how do you beat it? I don't know. Yeah. Her quote was, "Look, I know I need this. I know it. My husband knows it. Like, I know I need to be here. But dogs, am I right?" And I was like, No, you're not. No, that's not how this works. Not dogs. She's like, I have 7. I've been really eyeing these 2 for like a year, and I can't not do it.
That's even worse that they had a bunch already. Like, it'd be one thing if you had 0.
No, collected dogs. Yeah.
Dude, I actually had a client that did the same thing. Dude, that's a whole like underculture right there. Like, they're real serious.
They are serious.
They're real
serious.
Cats,
too. Cats is like a whole nother level.
I'm like, y'all don't go to the pound? Like, I thought that's how this worked.
Think about all the dogs that you could get.
Yeah, man. Like, you purebred.
I don't know how purebred of an English bulldog you can get, but I don't know any of those. I don't know the world of dog breeding, but yeah. But wow. I don't know. Yeah, I hope to never see that objection again. Yeah.
That's a bad beat. That's now in his pre-qualification. Is, do you have an expensive dog habit?
Yeah.
You check that box. You get a consult. All right, so Mr. Welborn, why don't you share with our listeners a little bit about your current business structure, what you offer, and really kind of how you came into the fitness industry to begin with, and how you've kind of built this successful entity that so many other fit pros strive for.
Yeah, so I own a small personally branded studio named Welborn Fitness. It's in a small town outside of Portland, Oregon, and we do boot camp stuff. It's very straightforward. We do nutrition, training, accountability work, just those three main pillars. And so I mesh the education that I have in the nutrition side, I mesh with consistent training, and it's worked out pretty well. I have an interview with hopefully someone who can continue to run it for me, so I can get out of doing the training and continue to spend more time here because we just bought a new home. And so I got into the whole gig because when I was growing up, my parents were really unhealthy. So my mom was about 100 pounds overweight. My dad had a couple heart attacks. And so I wanted to get into the health field somehow, just to try to help them, and I didn't know what that was going to look like until I went and got into college to play college baseball. My strength coach really got me passionate about lifting. And then I've just kind of been doing this ever since. Yeah.
That's great motivation, man. From experience, from my own personal experience, it's so rewarding to see your family like actually change. And, it's interesting too, when it's your parents, because the roles are reversed. We always look at our parents as the ones that are supposed to be helping us. And then at some point for a lot of us, that tide turns.
Oh, totally. Totally.
Have you been able to help them?
Yeah, my mom was like an Olympics level swimmer when she was younger. She's super good. Never went to the Olympics or anything like that, but in fact, I think that was the year that they were boycotting, was when she was like at her best. But she was an extremely talented swimmer. But I never actually saw her swim, like, ever, because she wouldn't go to the pool, right? Because just some confidence situations. And so now she's like 130 freaking stacked, and she swims like 5 to 7 miles a day. She's a total beast. Whoa. Yeah, no, she doesn't play around. She does, crazy swim marathons. She swims across rivers. She's a monster. And my dad's healthy too. My dad lives in Arizona, and he's a lot better. He hasn't had any heart issues for a long time. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. How do you feel that has translated into helping your own clients in the gym?
Yeah, it lets me have really good conversations with them, I think, because there's a specific type of person that I help. Like, I don't do bodybuilding stuff. The gym's not set up that way. I deal mostly with weight loss, middle-aged. Most of them are parents. So I can have a good conversation with them because I know where the track leads. So because I've been part of it for a long time. So if someone comes in saying, that they want to lose weight, they have kiddos, they're worried about their health and things like that. Like, I know the destination if they don't do anything about it, because I've experienced it. So it allows me to have a really good conversation with them, which typically makes it easier for me to help them. And they're way more open to, like, not just during the enrollment process to have a good conversation with me, but they're more open to tell me what's trouble, like what they're struggling with when they're not doing very well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that's, the empathy, side of things is so important, because, and I've talked about this before, like we're coaches and people put us on this pedestal, and right, wrong, or indifferent, like we have this kind of position of authority, but there's a fine line between being an authority and then being so high above that people don't relate to us whatsoever. And, I've talked about it for years. Like, I'm kind of a small dude and I'm not super ripped or anything, but I've used that to my advantage over the years, because it's allowed me to actually relate to other people where they're not looking at me going, well, good for you, but that ain't me.
Right.
And so, I think that type of clientele is obviously probably the majority of what the fitness industry at least needs to be serving, because we know our country's still very, very overweight and obese.
Oh yeah, it gets worse every year, actually. So, the demographic of people coming in especially to my studio where, they're trying to get 6-pack abs and they're already in great shape and they're trying to do that whole bag. I don't think I've ever gotten one. My community doesn't need that. It doesn't really serve that purpose. So the people I get are just normal Joes and Janes who are looking to prioritize their health because they haven't done that in like 20 years. That's the large majority of the people around me, which is great.
Yeah. Yeah. And those people typically have money too. So that's always,
That does help. Yeah.
That helps the process.
Yeah. I always thought of them as like the silent majority,
Oh, for sure.
There's more of them than anyone else. Like you said, the average Jane and John Doe out there. And then for you to create that culture and that environment to invite them in so you can help them, like, dude, that's awesome. That's what it's about.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, it can also be tough too, because there's like a scale of the excuses and the problems that you have to deal with. So the more lifestyle friendly you go, the more excuses I think come along with that. If you're working with someone who's like, I'm all business, all training all the time, you're probably not getting too many of those. But you're dealing with someone with 3 kids who doesn't want to cook a different meal for everybody, so they just eat macaroni and cheese with everybody else. Like you just come to the territory. You got a lot of excuses you're gonna have to overcome. But I mean, that's fine though, because like as long as you're willing to have those conversations and the person you're working with is willing to find a way to overcome them, then it's totally worth having, for sure.
And it's such a great point too, because I think it takes time in this industry to realize this is nothing but a relationship business.
Yeah.
And, you're seeing success because you're building relationships. All of us have people that never see the results they want to see, and they're never consistent as they should be. And we know that, but they keep showing up, and they keep showing up because you're building healthy relationships and they feel like they're a part of something else. And that sounds like exactly what you've been able to build and why you've been successful.
Yeah, and that just, it's unfortunate. I hate seeing that too, because like from the professional perspective, you want every single person to come in lights out, just crushing it, walk out feeling like $1,000. But not everybody is in it for that. So you have to kind of like meet them where they're at, which I've kind of had to learn along the way. I have a gal who I've trained for 6 years. She was my second client I ever had, and she's in decent shape, and she literally just comes just to vent, talk video games, and like not have to deal with anxiety. Like, and that's worth it to her. That's like worth the $420. That's like, that makes it worthwhile for her. And I'm 1,000% in. The moment she wants more, then I'll rev it up. But for the longest time, I would finish a session and I would be like itching and frustrated because we got almost nothing done. But that's from my perspective of like, I want to get more done in the session, but she walks out super pumped. So as long as she sees the value that she's expecting and that it helps her in the way that she needs it to help her for her life, then at the end of the day, it's a win.
Yeah, dude, that's a brilliant point, because value is always in the eye of the beholder. And sometimes we get so close to the trees that we don't see what we think is the value, and they're not seeing it the same way that we are. And we have to kind of adjust our expectations. So I actually want to shift gears with that being said. You have had a lot of success in your business. I know you've also had some monstrous deals come across, which is kind of what sparked our conversation, which, okay, you have my attention now, Mr. Welborn. I would love for you to share that story that you shared with me and kind of talk about that value proposition and how you kind of position things with your services based on what this client was looking for in terms of what was valuable to her.
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. Yeah, well, I actually have a funny story with that one. So she was a returning client that we ended our initial relationship actually really poorly. She actually fired me the first time. So when I first got into coaching, I was working at a big box gym, and you're overworked and underpaid and underappreciated. So you're just going from like one person to the next person. And I was the busiest trainer there. And she fired me because I couldn't keep up with the demands that she was asking, which is fair. I mean, for what she was paying, it's fair. I just didn't have the energy anymore. I was working from like 5 to 9 and I was just exhausted all the time. So she fired me. And then I opened up my gym, and 5 years after opening up the gym, she schedules a consultation with me. She didn't even remember who I was. So she showed up. I remembered her the moment I saw her, and I was like, well, we'll see how this goes. So, we're talking, and we're having great rapport, building a lot of good conversation, talking about her goals, talking about her setbacks, talking about the things she's frustrated with. And I asked her, I said, have you worked with any trainers in the past to solve this? Like, what was your experience? She was like, I had this one guy, he just didn't give me the time of day. And I was like, that must be super frustrating. She's like, yeah, it was super frustrating. Like I wanted help with this and this, and this, and this. Did you feel like, do you feel like he just couldn't keep up with, with the texts, or with what do you feel like it was specifically? She was like, yeah, I just didn't feel like he could give me the attention that I needed. I was like, yeah, I would probably walk away from that relationship if you're paying, good money for that too. And then I told her that I was the same person, and he thought it was hilarious. And I was like, look, I have control of my own schedule now. I'm not working 5 to 9. So like, I've actually been able to structure my day to where I can give you that same level of commitment that you're expecting. And so it actually helped with the rapport and the value build on that one. And she wanted to lose. I mean, she didn't want to lose too much. She only wanted to lose maybe 40 pounds at the most, maybe. But she had a lot of injuries, a lot of different circumstances that she had to deal with. So long story long, we get to the cell, and I said, look, you want to do personal training? This is how you want it structured. It's really simple. It's going to be X amount of dollars. I work with people in year-long commitments, so that's a total of 26 grand. And she was like, okay, well, can I put it on 3 different credit cards? And I said, sure.
Music to my ears.
My record was 22. I did that at Crunch, at the big box gym, my first year of being in business. I was their favorite person. And so I finally got a chance to break that record, which was great.
That's awesome, man. So just so you know, me and Mark have a fun little banter back and forth because he loves EFT. I love the big piff daddies. Like I like the big paid in fulls. Like I don't know why, it just feels good just crushing a homer. And Mark's all about that steady Eddie. Bill for tomorrow. So we have some fun debates back and forth. And the truth is a blend in the middle. But dude, that's an awesome story, especially when you went into it and she didn't even know it was you. You just walked her right into it. That was genius.
Yeah, she had no clue. Yeah. My girlfriend at the time when I had first trained her, because I was still in college. No, I was fresh out of college. My girlfriend at the time actually went to her husband was a dentist at the time. So my girlfriend at the time, that was her dentist, was her husband. And so, I was like, hey, are you married? Which I already knew the answer to. What does he do? Okay, he's retired. That's awesome. And after I made it known that I was just kind of playing along the whole time, I was like, I actually saw Tom right around the corner. He dropped off his ballot to vote just around the corner. I said hi to him. She was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you just let me talk for the last half hour about how shitty you were. I was like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't bother me. We all grow. It's been 6 years. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Like we grow over time. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was my first year as being a coach, and I was just overworked working at a big box gym and just didn't have the energy to try to help with nutrition 3 times a day.
I think that's a good note for our listeners too, because the clients don't know what we do. They think we just wait around all freaking day. Like, are you ready to work out? Where, dude, they don't know you're getting up at 5 and you're going till 9, and you're having to do all these things in between. So for you to just be very upfront and transparent with that, and to actually have her go, that makes sense, here's my money. Like that's case in point about sometimes we just have to communicate like what our job really entails so that the client understands.
Yeah, and when you're working for yourself, you have the luxury to do that. Like when you're working for a gym, you sell your life, right? So
Yeah.
you accept the $10, an hour, thank you very much, Mr. Businessman. And you just work until your eyeballs fall out. But when you have your own gym, I can structure my time to where, like, okay, I'll help you with nutrition during this part of the day, throughout the week. So if you have a question, just shoot me a text and I'll answer it the following day. And she was cool with that once I was able to lay out the guidelines with it. So it made it really
Love
great.
it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
I think, that's obviously a high ticket item, and outside of like homes and cars, it's pretty high ticket for damn near any industry. Like you start getting over 15, 20 grand, that's a lot. When you presented that price, I'm assuming you just told her and then you shut up. Yeah. We're filming, by the way, if you're listening to this, we're filming this. He just nodded his head. Yes.
Yes.
Were you confident in that when you said it, you're like, boom, here it is? Or was there any nervousness behind any of that?
Dude, freaking out. I mean, freaking out, man. I mean, but at the same time, when I'm doing personal training, it's always the same conversation. Just most people pay monthly. So I usually say the total when I go for the total, because I'd prefer to have the total. But most people just go, well, can I just pay monthly? Sure.
Yeah.
That's fine. So most people just do that. Like I have a different client. She just pays like $800 a month and she's in it for a year. And I see her once a week and then that's it. But she didn't ask any follow-up questions to it. So I just, I said, hey, this is what it looks like. My expectations, you're here for a year. It's 26 grand. And that's it, and I just stopped talking. And she just processed it for a second. She also owns like a really big, really, successful dentist consulting firm. So that also probably helped, she drove in a Porsche. So that probably does something to the sale at that point. Yeah.
There's so many things I like about this story. Number one, your value. And
absolutely.
And even if you're freaking out a little bit, you're still confident enough to go, but I'm still worth it. And, that uncomfortable silence that so many of us have had over the years when you present the price and you have no idea what they're thinking. So obviously what she was thinking was, okay, where can I get points? That's probably why she wanted to put it on different cards. She's like, okay, if I put 8 grand on this card, I'll get so many points and I get cash back on this card. You don't know what they're thinking. And so many Fit Pros just open their mouth. But just.
But if that's too much, it's okay. Let's do something else. No, just let them decide. They'll tell you. Especially if like we had a really great conversation. The pandemic has drastically. She's got a lot of health situations, so her doctor has put a big hiatus on her going to the gym. She just goes to work and goes home. So I paused her contract for the foreseeable future, but we had a really great conversation. That's what needed to happen. Like if the conversation wasn't good, it doesn't matter. Like the clothes wouldn't have gone very well,
right.
And so the reason why it works is because I addressed the elephant in the room, which was a combination of like making sure that she understood who I was, but also making sure that she understood that like what happened last time wasn't going to happen again. Even if I hadn't made it known who I was, that she knew that this trainer, this coach was going to take good care of her, which really put her into a good position to make a good decision.
No, you overcame the real objection, right? Which was the previous experience. It just, dude, it's actually very fortunate that you were that experience, because you literally get to be like, I'm not that guy. Like I get to have that conversation with you. So, man, there's so many pearls of wisdom in that. If you're listening to this right now, I hope you're truly listening to what John is saying, because success leaves clues.
Yeah, amen to that.
Sure, amen.
So John, share with our listeners for new coaches? Like John and I work with two Johns here. I get it. Mr. Loudermilk and I.
Call me by my real name, Mark, for the first time ever.
Johnny boy.
Yeah.
You know, we work with a lot of coaches that are fairly new in the industry, and a lot of them don't have a lot of in-person experience, or with COVID, there's a lot of them just starting off online. So what advice would you have to new coaches of anything that they should be aware of, you think they need to know to really begin to build something?
This is going to be, I want to keep this short because there's so many things. The biggest thing is to not bog yourself down with the things that are clearly not important. Posting all day on social media, hoping to find clients, tossing stuff on your story, trying to pretend like the people that are watching are actually buyers. They're not, and so just put systems in place where you actually know where this money's coming from, where you know where clients are coming from. Otherwise, you kind of got nothing. Your business is posting on social media to a group of people on social media that aren't your ideal client. So you got to put systems into place to put yourself in a position where you can actually help the people you're trying to help. And then the other thing is, like, don't worry about how much or how little you're charging. Like, just err on the side of a lot, because it doesn't matter how little or how much you're charging. It's always going to be a problem for someone. Like, if I charge $5, someone's going to complain that it's too much. Someone's going to complain that it's not enough value. So it doesn't matter. So like, when I was charging, it took me a while to get that too, because when you're at the gym, when you're at the big box gym, they always tell you, like, you have to be here for like 3 years before you can charge $85 an hour. Right. Or you have to be the master trainer, right. Or whatever. And so they kind of put it into your head that you're not able to charge more, or that it's not ethical to charge more, all these different things. So when I opened up my own gym, I was just, I just told myself, let's just see what happens if I charge $150 an hour and see what someone says. Because if I charge 100, the objection is still going to be the same. If I charge 50, it's still going to be the same. If I charge 300, it's still going to be the same. So I might as well charge $300, because I'm going to have to cross that bridge anyways. So, yeah, just go for it, man. I mean, charge what you're worth, and a combination of charge what the solution's worth. Like, if you're solving small problems, then the byproduct of that is probably going to be that you make less. But if you charge it for a bigger problem to solve it, then the byproduct of that is going to be worth more.
Woo! I love that.
Yeah.
Err on the side of a lot. Y'all hear that? A lot.
Err on the side of a lot. Yeah, just err on the side of a lot, because it doesn't matter. The objections are all the same, So.
That's so true. So many coaches have money hangups, and we've all been there. I had them too. When I started, I had the same thing, John. I'm sure you had them too. We've all had them, and you are absolutely right that at any level it's the same objection, every single level.
I'll tell you what, it's harder to sell a 3-pack than a 100-pack, because the 3-pack is a bunch of cheap asses that don't want to pay $3 for 99 sessions.
Yeah, you're also like opting into the quality of client. Like, if you if you're opting into people who don't see any value in their health and they're trying to spend as little as possible, you're going to end up punching yourself in the face every day.
Yeah,
because you're going to hate having to tackle those massive, like, hills to climb all the time. But if you're talking with people who are like prioritizing it, they just have some concerns or some worries that it's a worthwhile investment, you still have a hill to climb to overcome it, but it's worth overcoming, because like, they actually want the help. They just need a little help to kind of like pluck some of these worries out of the way so they can go to point B. Yeah.
I dig it. That's awesome, man. Again, if you're a Fit Pro listening to this, go back and take some notes, because this is a blueprint of success here, and of the mindset that most of us need to embody in order to truly get what we're worth, and not feel bad about it, and not feel bad about charging whatever the hell you want to charge. It's all a numbers game. We talk about it all the time. Reverse engineer it. You want to make X amount of money. How many people can you handle? And then how many, what do you need to charge those people to get that dollar amount? It's kind of simple.
Totally.
No, that's great. So as we begin to land the plane here, I have a few more questions for you, sir.
Yeah.
What is your favorite exercise to make other people do?
That's tough, man. I like safe exercises, because like I train the general population people, so we're not doing a lot of cleans or anything like that. But I love watching. I don't know if it's a specific exercise. I just like giving people heavy stuff that they don't think that they can lift, and just listen to them complain, even though they're doing it. Yeah. So this is so heavy, but then they're still doing the movement, and I don't really care because you're still doing it. So that's my favorite thing. Yeah, that's my favorite thing is just to watch somebody do the movement, complain the entire time, and tell them that I don't care because you can still do it correctly. That's
I love the sets of 15. That was heavy. You just did 15. By definition, that wasn't heavy.
Can't be. Yeah, it's impossible. Yeah. And I have a rule at the gym, like it's written on the board. If you say the word can't, you owe me $1. You'd be surprised how many dollars I get. Like, so especially when I start challenging them with weight, because it's just the first thing that comes out of people's mouths. I can't lift that. You chop $1 off on the way out, because then you have to pick it up. You got to do it anyways. I'm telling you to do it. And then you bust out 12 reps. Kind of $1 not well spent, was it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You got to really start believing yourself, butter. So it's kind of a way to try to get people to get out of their comfort zone a little bit, which is fun.
By the way, if you're my client listening to this, we're going to start doing that at my gym, but I'm going to err on the side of a lot, and it's going to be $10. I'll donate it to charity. Next question, Pop-Tarts or toaster strudel?
Have you ever put butter on a Pop-Tart?
Hell yeah.
So freaking good. Yeah. So Pop-Tarts probably. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, that's a hidden secret. I didn't know other people knew about that.
Oh yeah. Family Guy taught that to me a long time ago. Yeah.
I don't know. One day I just made one and I was like, it'd be good on here. Butter.
Yeah. Butter goes with everything, and it's great. It's
soaks into the icing. Oh, so good.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right. Last question for you.
Yeah.
If you had a billboard that you could put a message on that everyone would see, what would you put on the billboard?
If I had a billboard that everybody could see, what would I put on the billboard? I mean, it depends on like what kind of guy I'm showing up to that question. Like if I want to be stupid and funny, probably be a lot different than like the professional fitness side of me. If it was the professional fitness side of me, it'd be something like, nothing changes till you do, or some boring.
I mean, that's good.
Yeah, it's true. Like, yeah. But if it was more funny, I'd probably put up some like nerdy pun that I wouldn't be able to come up with on the spot right now, but I would come up with something. Yeah.
I love it. So is there, number one, is there anything else you would like to share with our listeners? And then 2, let people know where they can find you on social media, where they can follow you, find out more about what you do, and all that good stuff.
I mean, you guys do online stuff, right? You have online coaches. Is that mostly what you do? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing that I would say is like, for that kind of audience, like the most important thing for you to put into place for you to be successful is three main things. One, you have to understand who you're trying to help and how to communicate to them. That's what's really made me successful in the offline world, is I know my lane, and I know how to talk to them. I know how to talk about their problems. I know how to market about it. You have to be able to do that. So understand your offer, come up with a really strong system to get the right client to see that offer and to take massive action on solving the problem, so they can sit down with you, and then learn how to sell stuff. Like anything outside of those 3 things, you should not be spending time doing. Yeah. So if you're like, well, what about this? It's probably no. It's probably a no. Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of like when I'm talking with a client and, I'm telling them like, I need you to eat the right amount of food. I need you to make sure you have enough protein. I need you to eat real food, not box stuff, but real food. And I need you to drink water. Yeah, okay, well, what about cereal? I need you to eat real food. Like, does that count? No. Okay, great. Like, if it doesn't hit those 4 things, it's probably not going to be a yes from me. So if it's outside of those 3 things, when you're trying to build a business, probably not super important for you right now. Unless you're making like millions of dollars, then you probably don't need to be doing anything other than find clients, know what you're selling, learn how to sell it.
I love it. You're speaking John's love language.
Do you know what this is exactly what now, Mark, you know why I like John so much. I was like, dude, love this guy. It's fantastic.
Oh my gosh. Mr. Welborn, thank you so much for being on the show. We really appreciate it. Again, I hope you guys are paying attention, especially you Fit Pros, like just tons of little pearls of wisdom and nuggets of gold and all the things. And man, it's been great. I wish you continued success. Whenever you sell a $30,000 deal, let us know. We'll celebrate with you. We'll pop some Celsius or something, whatever.
Yeah, that would be epic. Wouldn't that be cool? That'd be cool.
Now it's gonna happen because I said it out loud. So now you have to go.
Hey, I'm waiting for it. Yeah.
Hey, and thanks for listening, folks. Another great episode here. And don't forget, go like, subscribe, leave a review. And if you have a funny story from the gym that you would like to share, let us know. We'll read it on the air. Hey, that rhymed too. I didn't even mean to do that. But until next time, John, please hit him with the tagline, baby.
Be like John Welborn and go get what you're worth, baby. Yeah. Damn good show.
Damn good.